Okay, here we go. Hello, everybody. This is your boy DJ Tugmaster. I'm doing my very first podcast with a special guest. And of course, my boy Colin. Unlimited. He's my guest for the day, and whoever want to drop in, they can drop in too. But give everybody where you from, Collins.
Yeah, that's it. Good morning, everybody. Happy Memorial's Day. It's your boy Unlimited Production, where I'm spitting facts and keeping it relaxed as I hang out with my brother Tuckmaster.
Okay, and Colin, what do you want to talk about in today's news and all that stuff? I know there's a lot of new things in the news and all that stuff. So what do you really want to talk about today?
Well, let's talk about the Last of Us factions, shall we? The game that
Yes,
that doesn't exist.
yes, we shall, and you started on it too.
Yeah. So here's the thing, Tuck. The Last of Us 2 came out in 2020. So 3 years ago, Naughty Dog promised them a multiplayer. And then earlier this week, Tuck, we saw what? Oh, that's right. The game is still being delayed, right? Because I guess Bungie played it, and it was so bad. They're like, no, you pretty much gotta restart, right? And here's the kicker: they pulled developers off of factions, Tuck. So there's even less people working on it. So this is a disaster. This is business. Remember how people used to say, Tuck, Xbox being mismanaged? This is mismanagement at its finest. A game that was promised 3 years ago. We've not seen nothing, but we haven't even seen a screenshot of factions gameplay. We've seen nothing from it. It's been 3 years, and yet I don't see anybody, Tuck, calling. I'm not seeing anybody, Tuck, who's saying anything about how it's delayed or how it's being mismanaged. Nothing. It's like the game doesn't exist or something.
Well, man, I mean, but I'm gonna put it like this: what you said along those Tom Collins, and you just told the truth about the whole damn thing. It's not coming out. I mean, I don't believe it's coming out. I mean, I don't know what the deal is. I mean, I don't even know why they even, they said that they was going to bring it to their showcase, and they did not. So now, if it does, come on, fine. If you don't, it don't have to come on. Hey, there, Colin, Unlimited sent you a link. So if you want to come on in. That's fine with me. So he's sending you a link. So if you want to come on in, let's come on in. But no, man, dude, I mean, you got all these people. Now they trying to get PlayStation. They saying, well, they help back and all that stuff. I'm saying, y'all, wait a second now. Now we talking about a show they have not did it, what, 2 years?
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden they're gonna hold back on something. What have we always have said on all our shows? We always have said Sony do not have the money that they used to have. So it's not going to be like what they have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just a bear in a nutshell. But man, I don't know, Collins. I mean, can we? I mean, the reason why I gave it a 0 because they didn't do anything. What did they do? I mean, what did they do? They showed nothing but a lot of what? Nothing. Nothing to the whole entire damn show. So now that's the reason why I gave it a 0. And there's another reason why I gave it a 0. They gonna give Redfall so much of a bad review that I'm like, people playing the game. But the thing about it is, with this damn showcase that Sony gave you, then people got to go and say, yeah, give it a D, give it a B, give it an F, give it a C. No, I said flat out 0. That's just my prescription of the whole damn show because it's just a straight up 0. Hey, Dale, how you doing, hon?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you, Tuck?
I'm doing okay. Y'all, this is the first lady of chat here.
Mm-hmm. Mhm.
This is my girl Dea. She's a good person. You can't. I mean, man, when it comes down to her knowing her facts, oh, she knows her facts.
Oh, thank you.
Just listen to her, listen to everybody on this panel. And one thing I'm gonna say about this panel here that all that we are getting into is that we just tell the truth about gaming. We ain't never said tell no lie about no gamers. We ain't never said
Exactly.
anything lie about gaming. Period.
Yep.
We're just here to tell you the truth. And like the ultimate says, all he do just stick with the facts. And that's one thing I do like about Ultimate. He stick with straight up with the facts.
Mhm.
He'll show you pictures. He show you, diaphragms and everything. He shows you what's going wrong with the gaming and everything. And if we feel like Microsoft is doing something wrong, oh, don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Unlimited and Dare, we will get on Microsoft about the truth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm not here to shield for a company. I believe that Microsoft is the better company. I really
Mhm.
believe that. So, and Sony is in trouble. But yeah, we're not going to do that because we want Microsoft to be good. And we believe that, in my opinion, it's my personal opinion, I believe they deserve the market leader position. And I would like to see them get to that point.
Right.
I mean, like in every metric. I believe they are financially, but in every metric.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. What you think about it?
Yeah, I'm in agreement there. I wouldn't be an Xbox fan. I wouldn't be a collector. I wouldn't have gotten back into gaming years ago if it wasn't for Xbox, basically. So,
Yep.
when Xbox does something worth criticizing, I don't have a problem saying, hey, Xbox, do this better. And here's the kicker: whenever they do get criticized, they follow up and do better. Right? For
Yep.
That's
example,
true.
we're 2 weeks away from their showcase, right? And last year they said every game was going to release within 12 months or something like that. Fortunately, it wasn't the case due to how gaming is. And this year, I guarantee they're not going to do that. They're not going to have the same. They're not going to say the same thing,
Right.
right? Because people use that against them. So so Xbox is right now. I think Xbox just downright fantastic. Just look at all the games we get in Game Pass day one, and that's not including the likes of Starfield and Forza later this year. Just look at we're the only ones who get a showcase every single year. It doesn't matter
Yep.
if E3 exists or not.
Yep.
Xbox is going to give a showcase, right? Because Sony hasn't done an E3 in like 5 years, and then for their big showcase to be what it was this week after about over 2 years of nothing, that's why people are upset.
Yep.
Because if Sony was put on a show like that and it was something that and they just knew that they had a routine amount of content coming, they would have been talking so much smack, right? But instead they don't know what's coming after Spider-Man. They have no clue because Sony doesn't have a roadmap. They don't have a large list of games. They don't have
Mm-hmm.
nearly as many studios as Xbox does anymore, and
Yep.
they're not making the big purchases like Bethesda or Activision. So on the Xbox side, we have it wonderful right now, right? Just absolutely wonderful, and and so stuff like that keeps me positive. Keeps me energetic. It keeps me excited for gaming.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen. After we get done here, I'm jumping back into Redfall.
Yeah.
That's,
Man, that game's crazy, man.
It's gotten hard for me. I
mhm.
tell you, man, that those vampires been kicking my butt like crazy. It's embarrassing. I'm glad I don't like stream that or anything so nobody sees.
Mhm.
Because they like to joke that Redfall is a broken game and all that, but it's hard.
Mhm.
It gets that way. I can't believe how it started out until where the game is now. It's like crazy. And then if you play single player, because I started getting friends hopping into my single player game now, and they've
Mhm.
made it 10 times worse. But when I was in my single player game, it was very hard. Like I was struggling a lot, and so they said, "Hey, we could jump into your game and all that." And they jumped in, and it's not gotten better. It's actually still tough. So that's how I know for certain that the game scales difficulty. There's no way
So
you can have that many people and all of us are struggling. You know,
So you mean tell me actually the game get harder as you add people?
in my opinion, it just progressively gets harder. It's like Arcane doesn't do like the traditional gaming style where it kind of like it actually has a tutorial to help you get along. Here's step one, here's step two. They didn't do that. Instead, they weaved it into the gameplay. So like they used Hollow Man as an excuse to um tell through the story, through the narrative, which is their strong point. That in the beginning you hardly ever see the vampires, you hardly ever see people. Obviously, the people are being eaten up. You do have living people that you free and all that stuff as you come through there, but you don't. Nobody's really noticing you. You can, you come across a vampire here or there, but then you start noticing, oh, that's 2 vampires hanging out at this house, or now it's 5, and then after a while, you got a neighborhood where multiple houses are occupied by vampires and stuff. You can't go anywhere. They just out in the open, and you see them with shields, and they're everywhere. And the hives, where's the vampires' nest? They get progressively harder too. And what I realize is that through the story narrative, the Hollow Man becomes more aware of you, so therefore you see more vampires, right? But then once you defeat him, it's like it's all whole. Everything is just let loose. It's like at that point, since I've been on the second map, I've just really been getting my butt kicked. And Bellwether is still just as terrible as ever, man. I hate running into. We had one game where we had about 10 or 11 Bellwether people coming on us, and they were running and shooting it. They have snipers in their group, because I'm telling you, every time I face them, somebody gets instantly sniped and taken down. They're like what's the name of those vampires that can just take you out in one hit? I can't remember the name. They always looking, and they had the like. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
The Watchers.
The Watchers, yes. Some of those Bellwether people are like that. They'll hang back, and they'll have the snipers and stuff just take you apart. Like one time we rushed the church, and as soon as we opened the door, I killed the vampire because the others had warmed down, but then I went straight down. Just immediately, my health just tanked to 0, and I went straight down. And I was like, this game is cheating. What happened? What happened? I was screaming that everybody was still fighting. And it turns out they got me up. And I said, thanks, then I went straight back down again. I was like, what is going on? And then it was a guy over in the corner sniping us. They never saw him, so he just kept sniping me down. Mm-hmm. So that, the game is not as easy as people say it. It seems like that in the beginning. Mm-hmm. The game gets harder, and I'm telling you, they even noticed it to the point where they were talking about it. Did Arcane update this thing or something? they didn't. We was barely getting through the nest and everything. So yeah, I know that's long-winded, but I just wanted to let you guys know how my games have been going, because yeah, they do get harder even if you're single player. I've had some ridiculous lineups in the nest. I mean, honestly, I actually needed some help to get past some areas, and it will get harder. I don't believe you have to do it with people, but you have to change up. You really got to go stealthy more than you think you do. I think you have to do that. You have to avoid conflict as much as possible.
Yeah, you got to survey the area and make sure you know where these enemies are.
And depending on who you're playing, if you're playing Jacob, for the love of all that's holy, make sure you got that bird leveled up as much, because you need to see where these vampires are, because they can teleport to you. So you don't want to just say, oh, they that far. They're never that far. I had so many appear behind me. I don't even know where some of them came from. So they teleport. So you need to know where they are and how many vampires you're actually dealing with. Also, I love to use the lights, the blue lights. I don't know what those are. But I like to use those lights as a defense area. And I will move from point to point using those lights, so that if they do appear behind me, because you can't stop that. They'll get turned to ash, and you can just destroy them. But you have to really use your environment to your, and I say protect your back at all times, because they will always try to go behind you. They will always try to flank you. These are just a couple of tips that I learned, from playing the game. Oh, hello, Pip. What's that? The Pip 99. Hello.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying, yes, a similar experience there, Daya.
Hmm.
You know, especially what really gets me is when vampires swarm me. I can handle the humans because
Okay.
I'm playing as Remy, and she does extra damage to human
Oh,
enemies in
that's
close
why.
range.
Okay. Okay.
But when the vampires swarm me, if mobilize, mobilize is her special ability, right? If I
Uh-huh.
can't if that's not ready,
Right.
and I don't set that up, oh, they're getting me.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but the way that I got my character build for her is that the little robot,
Hmm.
whenever I send him out, he does damage to enemies, and so they target him, and so I could just sit back a little and start taking them out while they focus on him.
Oh,
He does some
okay.
extra damage, and I survive that way.
That's actually smart. I didn't. I haven't. I got a Remy player in my group. I haven't seen them do that.
Hmm.
That's interesting. They use the robot as a distraction sometimes, but not nearly as much. So that's interesting to hear your strategy with that. I know with Jacob, I have the bird to where it takes damage. So like a lot of times I can sit back in the distance because the bird highlights them first. I'll send them to highlight,
Right.
and then I'll use the bird to attack them, and then they don't know where it's coming from, so they'll start to patrol and they'll start to look. But as long as I'm far enough from them, I can just keep sending the bird until they're dead.
Hmm.
But a lot of times they'll trace. Eventually, they'll trace where those attacks are coming from, and then you may have to face them. But by that time, they've taken a lot of damage.
Right.
But Jacob is he's a fantastic character because of the invisibility too.
Yeah.
So I like using him for like solo
Hmm.
more than anything.
Well, I'm using the black lady.
Hmm.
Layla, yeah,
Yeah, Layla, because she got her boyfriend is a vampire.
yeah.
And let me tell you, and when I use him, I mean, if I have like 5 or 6 vampires on the screen at one doggone time,
Mm-hmm.
if I have him fully charged, I use him. And he'll go to work on them too. He will definitely
Okay,
go to work on every one of them vampires in there. But his power only lasts for like a limited time.
right,
But
right.
I have learned how to turn it. How I have learned how to extend his capabilities
Hmm.
Oh, okay,
of just powering them up as I go. But
okay, right.
but let me tell you, man, the game does not get easy,
No, it doesn't. It
especially
doesn't.
when you get into the vampire nest. Oh my lord, man,
Yeah.
dude. I mean, there was one time when I got killed. Although because there's some of the vampire nests that you can get out of. You can get out of in time and don't get killed.
Right.
But there's
Right.
some. Oh no, if you don't get out there on time, you dead.
Right.
and it
And
will and it will start you back off at the I think at the station or one of your layouts
right.
that you
Right.
have. But as far as I'm concerned, man, hey, I mean that's the reason why I would never give that game. I would give that game a A+ right now
It's
because
it's
people just
it's
playing the hell
good.
out of
Yeah, it's
it. You love it.
obviously it has issues. Obviously, on the PC side of things, that's
Hmm.
why when you guys say the console, I fully believe you because I haven't heard a lot of complaints from the console side. I think it's from the PC side that people and a lot of people chose PC because of the 60 FPS. So
Right.
that's why I think they're running into the issues from. But the game is still very fun and to the point where I still have my team. We're still playing. They're growing and um yeah, I don't see any. I mean, the game is fundamentally good. It's
Hmm.
just, I think they just people who hate Redfall don't believe us because we like Xbox, but it is fun. It's like the same people who said, Cyberpunk is still good. It was before Cyberpunk had gotten everything together. They saw the value of the game of what CD Projekt Red was trying to do with the game,
Hmm.
and they stuck it out. The one I could not because I had originally bought that game on the PlayStation. That was before I had the Xbox. But that's before the newer I had got the newer system. I couldn't find the Xbox for a long time,
Yeah.
so I was on Game Pass on PC. But I just had my PlayStation 4 forever, because I couldn't
Right.
find the Xbox. And I finally got one through Microsoft. They let me know it was one, and I got one. But that's how I got it. But yeah, but uh, I liked I think that's a good team, and I think the game had potential, but I couldn't play it on no old. PS4, so I just got rid of it. I said I just wait and maybe get it on PC later or something like that. But I can also get it on Xbox now too. So
Yeah, and here's the good thing about Cyberpunk. You could transfer your saves from PS4 to anywhere with that game. So if you get it on Xbox, your saves will transfer with it.
Oh, that's cool. I did not
Yeah,
know that.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. I played Cyberpunk only on the Series X, and I loved it. Thought it was a brilliant game. It's one of my favorite games I ever played in my life. That's how much I loved it. Yeah,
Wow.
I thought it was unbelievably fantastic. I love it way more than The Witcher. And I know
What?
Witcher's their big game that everybody
Yeah.
loves, but for me, give me Cyberpunk over The Witcher 3, man. That game blew me.
Serious?
Yeah, 1,000,000% serious.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah. The Witcher, Cyberpunk. First of all, I was able to beat the game for starters. I still don't know anyone who actually beat The Witcher 3 because that game's so long. But yeah, I just love the more modern cyberpunk, technologically advanced world more so than the
sci-fi.
And it's and I'm kind of like that in general. I prefer Mass Effect over Dragon Age for any BioWare fans.
Yeah.
I used to prefer Fallout over Elder Scrolls until recently. Because I used to think Fallout 3 and New Vegas were better. I had more fun with those than Morrowind and the other one that came out on the 360.
Right.
Well,
Oblivion? Was it Oblivion that came out on 360?
Oh yeah, that's right. Morrowind was the one that was on the original Xbox. Oblivion and Skyrim were the ones on 360.
Right.
Yeah, it's just that unless it's Assassin's Creed, usually like Assassin's Creed is the only one where I hate the modern day stuff. Oh, I despise modern day stuff in Assassin's Creed games.
Okay.
I don't play those games to play as people in modern day. I want to be in a historical time period with those games. Other than that, I tend to prefer, that's why I'm hyped for games like Starfield.
Starfield is the sci-fi version.
Yeah, I loved the game Obsidian made, The Outer Worlds. I thought that was brilliant. Loved that game as well and beat it.
And I'm getting more hyped up for Starfield I'm a guy that usually just get hyped up when the game comes out, but I am a guy that really get hyped for this game for some reason.
Well, if you do play it, prepare to it's gonna feel overwhelming if you're not used to the Bethesda games. Just let you know. Yeah. It's gonna feel huge. And not everybody's used to that,
I want to ask y'all this. Have y'all played that game Planet Leia?
Is that one that just came out?
Yeah,
I haven't played that yet. I haven't played it yet.
Planet Alana. Yeah, I installed it. I just haven't played. I haven't started it yet either.
I'm so behind. I still got to do Benedict Fox. I haven't touched that because I've been so caught up in Redfall. Like I thought I was going to beat Redfall. No, it's gotten so hard at this point that I've slowed down progress because I've died so much. But I still got to do Benedict Fox. I haven't heard a lot of people say anything about that, so I don't know if that's good or not.
Benedict Fox is good.
It is. Oh, okay, that's good. I haven't heard nobody talk about it. I was like, wow, I'm shocked because that was the game I was looking forward to.
It was the timing. It came out a few days before Redfall and Ravenlock. It was day one on Game Pass. But I know how gamers are. A lot of them are gonna try the big games before they do the smaller ones.
Right. Yeah.
And the beauty of Game Pass is that Benedict Fox is always there either way.
Yep. And Ravenlock, I gotta do that because actually I bought a game that they did before. What was that other game they brought to Game Pass
Echo
before?
Generation.
Yes, I have that. I have that game. So if it's anything like that, then I'm probably gonna end up liking that one and buying that one too. Because I like their style of game. I like the way they do their game. So Ravenlock, I heard some good things about that.
Oh, dude, Ravenlock.
Oh, Ravenlock ain't no joke, boy. It is good. I love it.
Yeah, it's a charming game.
Awesome. I like the team that works on those games, so I'm a little fan of theirs. So yeah.
But this game, Planet of Lena, man, it's a puzzle. It's a puzzle game. That's one thing I like about it.
Okay. Is it something like Limbo, something like that, like puzzle like that? Because it seemed like it's a side platformer, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can say it's like that, but other words, you can get kind of lost in it. But if you take your time, then you see what it's really all about. I mean, sometimes like he but always says, it's not all about the graphics. Sometimes it's just about the gameplay,
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
and that's one thing I love about this game right here. It's about the gameplay,
Okay.
about how the characters get together, how these two characters get together, and how they're gonna do the quest and all that stuff. So, but when it come down to like this game right here, I might have to put it as one of my indie games of the year.
Oh wow.
Um, I might just have to. I mean, it's good. It's real good. Um,
That's that much I like that Xbox. They're so good at picking out good games to put in Game Pass.
yeah,
Even when you don't think the game is that good, then you see like people are having fun and what they describe the games. It's like they have a really keen eye when it comes to games.
right,
I think
right.
Sarah Bond is the one who picks those things out, isn't it? She's the one. Is she the one that actually like make the decision of what games come to Game Pass and stuff? Isn't that her?
I'm not really sure. I know she got a big hand in it. I feel like
Right,
that.
right.
But I tell you another fellas, I'll tell you another thing too, fellas, and I think, and I'm gonna tell you the truth. I think Microsoft. I think when I saw that last interview that Phil Spencer had,
Mhm.
I think I saw him so frustrated. Now I'm telling you right now, and I really do feel this way. I think Microsoft's going to be a dog now. They're going to be a
I
dog.
hope so.
They're going to be a dog compared to the other two competitors because they're not trying to change gaming at all. What has Nintendo done to change gaming? Not a damn
Nothing.
thing.
I mean,
Say, I
everybody
mean,
like to act like it, but Nintendo games stay stuck on their platforms, and they stick you on old tech, so they're not advancing gaming in any measure. I'm not taking away for the games that they make. They have to be good, or else they would be out of business by now. They have to because they don't really have anything else, any other reason why anybody would want a Nintendo anything, you know. But in my opinion, for the overall gaming now, I think they used to be innovative
Mhm.
and stuff, but I don't think they are now. That's my personal opinion about Nintendo. And the reason why I don't own one is because I don't like the way they treat their customer base either. um they never do sales and stuff. They never really think about, if we're a console, that's for children, maybe sometimes we should allow a sale to go through and not ask them for the highest amount we can get every single time, even for games that are 10, 11, 12, 20 years old. It's just that they're so greedy. And a lot of times I see a company like that acting and behaving that way. It turns me off. And I don't want to be a victim. And it's another reason why I left PlayStation, because I kind of saw some of the writing on the wall with that whole cyberpunk thing. That was actually the game that I just said I was done with it. I was trying to see to get a Xbox anyway, but it was so hard. But um, and I don't know why. I don't know if it still is, but it was when I was trying to get one. And so I was just sticking it out, trying to really decide if I wanted to get a PlayStation. PlayStation was hard to find too, but I just had enough of Sony. I can tell you from the other side that they do not cherish their fan base. Um, I never was really hung up on their stuff. I told you I never bought their first parties, and I still haven't to this day yet. It's not that I wouldn't play a couple of games, but I still haven't bought any of their first party games. So it was never their first party that hooked me in anyway. So it was just I was doing third party games over there, and I was like, I don't need them for that. I have Xbox for that. Game Pass is what sold me to Xbox before I
Mhm.
could get my hands on the console. And I love the console now. Don't get me wrong. I can just rarely play it because it's on the main TV and that's always being used. So I can hardly get over there to use it. But I love the console. I like how Xbox continues to innovate. I like that they treat their fan base with care. Like with the Cyberpunk thing, no question at all. Yeah, if you want to do a return of for your game and stuff, because you might be concerned the game might be broken, no problem. In fact, I heard almost nothing from the Xbox side. That people was just satisfied over there, and I saw that. And I'll tell you another thing, guys. If you think people don't see that stuff, they do. They do. And I think that the PlayStation gamers also see how good the Xbox side is when it comes to Game Pass. I think they wish they had that.
Yeah, 100%.
They can't admit it because they wouldn't last a minute out here in the Twitter streets. But yeah, they wish they had that. They wish it, and even if Sony did it, I don't think it's going to be as good. You know, so yeah, I'm happy where I'm at. I've told people this in many places. I'm happy where I'm at. I feel like Phil really tries his best. He listens to the fan base and he really tries his best to give he can't give us everything. I mean, that's not possible. You can't please everybody. But he really tries his best to give his customers what they're asking for. That's old school style business where you try to meet your customers' needs. And you know, I try to remind our people that because after what happened with this whole Redfall thing, I thought everybody forgot about that. I thought they didn't even care about that anymore. Like, have you guys forgotten? Xbox is listening and giving you everything you asked for.
Yeah, they were being hyper reactionary to Redfall, to a ridiculous degree. I mean, the amount of people, I kid you not, that I saw was like, I'm selling my Xbox. This is it. I've had enough. I'm tired of waiting. It just blew my mind because for as long as I've been gaming on the Xbox, I haven't waited for much. The only thing I'm waiting for are these big games that takes a long time to develop for.
Right.
Other than that, what have I waited for? I got an excellent console. I got hundreds and hundreds of games. I even have a bunch of controllers.
You got some great. The Redfall ones, man, that was so nice.
Yeah, I know, just fantastic stuff. But the point is, you know, whenever I see the hyperbolic reactions of how bad Xbox is and this and that, my experience is just polar opposite. I have a PS5 and I rarely use it, and the reason I don't use it because one, I'm playing all my multi-plats on Xbox anyway, and that's 95% of, 95+% of games. So many games are on both systems. It's almost not even worth, you know, it's almost negligible on how many, on the few games that aren't on both, right?
Right.
So you got that. And two, the games on PlayStation just aren't as special as they make it seem. You know, I don't care about review scores or none of that or Game of the Year awards. All I care about is when I turn on the console, start playing the game that I enjoy it. And when I play games like Horizon and it's boring, and God of War and the game starts with you cutting down trees and fighting the same enemies and stuff, I just can't give it the same praise the general public does, because my experience is teaching me these games just aren't fun enough to hold me, you know.
Right.
And when a game is fun, like Spider-Man, I give it its credit.
You know, that's what I like about you, Unlimited, because you're brutally honest. I mean, it's been times even on some Xbox games that didn't hit with you, and you say, "Hey, you know, I'm glad other people like that, but it's not for me." You know, I like that because I really get a good sense of what type of games you like, and you know what, you know, I don't tell people what to like and what not to like but you at least have played more Sony first party games than I have. You play more than I have, and I've owned a PlayStation. So you, in my opinion, you're probably more qualified to talk about it than I am. It's just that I didn't I don't know. I kind of agree with you. I say it's two games that they've made that I'm even interested in. That if it comes, you know, I know one of them is Spider-Man is one because I had, you know, like you said, you even said that's a decent game, and I can see myself playing that one. But the other one is Ghost of Tsushima. I think that one it interests me, and that would be the only two. I didn't like no Returnal and no other stuff. None of the other stuff interests me, you know.
Yeah, I have Ghost of Tsushima, and you know, it's not too bad. It starts in a very typical Sony way.
Okay.
Where there's just a lot of boring stuff you got to get through.
Okay.
And then once the world opens up, it becomes all right. I'll have to play it more before I say that it's great or anything. But
right.
It's sure as hell more fun than God of War, Uncharted, Horizon, and all the other crap that I've played.
Wow. Did you end up playing Ratchet and Clank? What was that game like compared to like a Psychonauts 2?
Nah, I've not played Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, okay. Because I thought Psychonauts 2 was brilliantly done.
Yeah,
And
it was so wonderfully creative.
yes, and people was comparing it to Ratchet, so I never played Ratchet, so I was just wondering about that.
My
Yeah, yeah.
son, he played Ratchet and Clank, and he said Psychonauts is way better.
He did
Because
okay.
the reason why he said it's way better because it puts you got to actually think in that game,
Mhm.
in Psychonauts.
Yeah.
And the graphics is beautiful. The game is just stellar play and all that stuff. So, and you got so many things to do in Psychonauts to make it more fluid and more interesting on what's going on in the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not your regular Joe and Blow game. You actually gotta. I mean, there's some puzzles that you actually gotta really think in there just to pass it. So
Right. Yeah.
So that's one thing he loved about it.
I thought so. I just didn't want to say it, but because every time you talk about Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank is brought up, and I'm like, okay, how does that game compare? Because the thing they was touting that Ratchet and Clank could do is like, I guess, teleport through stuff. It turns out that Psychonauts 2 had a part of that in that game as well, and they could do the same thing. So I was like, well, what is it that they're doing different?
Yeah. That was when they were trying to pimp the whole SSD.
Yeah.
When they pretended the our hard drive was what pushes the console.
Yeah.
And so you had a lot of nonsense. That was when they lied and said the Unreal Engine 5 could only work on PlayStation 5.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And that's not true. There's a lot of nonsense, and then as someone who owns both, the Xbox Series X just blows it away.
Okay.
Especially with features like quick resume. I love quick resume, especially
Yeah.
with the type of games I play.
Yeah.
Quick resume is the best feature. It changed my gaming habits to the point where I always got a rotation like 4 games I'm playing at any particular time because I could just jump back into them.
Oh wow.
And then what's so brilliant, and I tested this way when I first got it, right? Because Batman Arkham Knight, it shows how long you've been away from a game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
so I just tested. I didn't play Arkham Knight for over a week. I jumped back into the game, and when you started that up, it says you haven't played, or this says something like this game's been paused for 7 days, for example.
Wow.
Right. And so quick resume works that whole time, and that comes with rebooting the console and turning it off and turning it on and plugging it. It doesn't matter. So stuff like that, undefeated feature, man. Wonderful
Right.
feature.
I would love for
It
Microsoft to
the
bring that
game?
to. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tuck.
It actually tells you that in the game.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that either because
That's
I've
a new
used
feature
quick
to add.
resume. I didn't know that. And I would love for Microsoft to bring that to the PC side of Game Pass
Mhm.
too, because the reason why I play the PC more is because of the shooters. I can't play a shooter on a controller. I've tried. It's terrible. I would lose the game over and over. So I just can't play it. I don't know how to do it. It doesn't work for me. So I have to just stick with the keyboard for that. But I can play every other type of game with the controller, but just not the first person shooter games.
Right.
So but for those type of games and stuff too, I would love to see that through PC Game Pass. I would love to see that. I got Game Pass Ultimate, of course, but through the PC side of it, I would love to see that ability on this side. I hope Microsoft does that one day, maybe. We'll see. But I don't know, that might be a hardware thing. If it is, then my next PC might have to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great feature, and I hope they got that patent or something so that Sony doesn't pick it. They don't deserve it. They need to make their own stuff and learn how to innovate.
Is it just that the controller is too slow for you when you play the
Yeah,
game?
it feels like it's not as responsive. Like a lot of times, and then I have a hard time because it feels like I'm dragging the cursor or the reticle around. Like it's like it doesn't. I don't know why it's like that. And I try to look in the controls. I'm so used to like with a PC, you're able to like fine tune every little thing, but I can't do that in a controller. So I don't know how to adjust to where I can do that with a controller. I don't know how to do that. And I've asked some friends about that who do still have PCs, but they said, "Oh, we just play FPS on the PC." So they said the same thing. So I was like, "Okay," because nobody can give me any help on that. So I was like, "Okay, fine." They have consoles, but they just don't do FPSs on consoles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Tuck, can you put what I have on screen?
Oh yeah, let me.
It should be the same process of like adding somebody.
I don't see it though.
Oh, you don't see it?
The last one I see is Mr. Kima.
No. It's not a comment. It's what I have. It should be under our
Oh, hi,
names.
Mr. Kima. Hope you're still there.
Would it be like add to stream?
Yeah. So that's the screenshot I took, Daya,
Okay.
of Batman Arkham Knight, and as you can
Oh, yeah.
it says I was away for 145 hours.
My
And
gosh.
and that's nearly a week of quick, and
Wow.
that's how great Quick Zoom is.
That's fantastic.
Oh,
Wow.
that is great.
I've never seen that because I have the little games I have are not. I do have the Arkham Knight series. I haven't played. I bought it. It was on sale, so I picked up things up because I had them a long time ago. But I was like, oh man, I can get them for the Xbox Series X. Let me hurry up and buy those things. And I've yet to play them on there. But dang, that is cool.
Yeah.
And now, is that do they have FPS boost for this game too?
No, that one only has auto HDR.
Okay, just that. Oh man, okay. I love the FPS boost games.
Oh yeah, I love them too. Games like Fallout and has them, and the Gears games have them.
Oh, that's good. Gears have because I still have to get into Gears. I haven't had the time because everything else keeps coming up. Next game I have to play is I got to buy. Oh, okay, Mr. Keem is still here. Good to see you again. Yeah, the next game I'm going to be getting is Diablo 4. So that's going to be soon to be first party. So that's going to be nice, and I can't wait to see. I don't know, maybe they'll have all the bells and whistles for Diablo 4 for the Xbox. Who knows? Hopefully, because I'm hoping that the studios will start to just use everything Microsoft can do on that box.
Right.
Man, I tell you right now, there's one game that I'm playing right now, and I'm really enjoying it again. Is Motorsports 5, Horizon 5.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah, I have, yeah.
Dude, the game, man, that car game, man, there's nothing else I can say about that game. Microsoft hit that game out on the point of
they did a great
of being a car game and being like an environment of Mexico and seeing how it really is. Man, I mean, and the cars look so real, and the environment looks so doggone real. It's beautiful. I hate to see how it looks on the computer with a high graphic PC, but when I'm getting it on the Xbox, I'm like, wow. I mean, it blows your mind.
It's beautiful
how that game is, and I can see why 30 million people is playing that game. It's
exactly
a bit of a game.
Exactly. I've been wanting to get back into Forza. It's just like every time I get ready to do it, it's a good problem to have. Game Pass is too much. I think so. It's a good problem because like just when you're gonna go back to some older games, like I started Hellblade, I have to go back. I want to finish that thing before Hellblade 2 comes out, and I stopped it because of Redfall. I'll admit Redfall and Ghostwire just did me. I just kind of abandoned everything for those two games. But Ghostwire was so fun. I love that game. I'm thinking about just purchasing that thing eventually, just out and out. But I hope they still like do some like extra content for it. I really love Ghostwire. But yeah, Redfall, because I've been playing that. I kind of abandoned everything else. I haven't done Benedict. I haven't done Ravenlock. I haven't done anything yet because I just been so in. That game is so big, and when the second map opened up, that shocked me. I stood there for the longest. Everybody else was laughing because they knew that it was the second part. I said, "Where are we at? What is this?" I was looking around. I was like, "What happened?" I was so confused. I didn't know what to say or do. I was like, "Did the game break? What happened?" And they was just laughing, and they said, "Yeah, this is the second half." I was like, what? We got more games. I thought the Hollow Man was the end. I thought we did it. We beat this guy. We finally shut him up. All of a sudden another map opens up. So yeah, that was great at Arcane to hide that too. See, that's another thing. If you don't play that game, you won't know that. There's a whole nother map waiting for you.
Man, that is something else. Hey, but let me tell you right now, this is my story about the race car game, man, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I had a car. I thought I had a car that it was like close to like 850 horses.
Mhm.
Man, I went on the street. I went on one of the duck on the streets and challenged this one guy. Shoot, yeah, I should have left his ass alone because he blew me out the water.
Wow.
Dude, I mean, this would make us so bad, man. By the time he just stopped, he stopped maybe like 2 miles, and then all of a sudden here I come, and then all of a sudden he gonna pass me up again. I passed him right up, he passed me right up again. That's oh my lord. I mean, just playing with me, man. I mean, this is on the coast of the shore of Mexico, over there by the beaches and all that stuff, where you had nothing but long straightaways.
Oh
Period.
wow. Yeah.
And I mean, man, dude, I mean, my car it went up maybe like 230, man. But they got cars, man, that can go up at least. Whoo! I think the fastest I've ever seen one go up so far maybe like 5. I mean, maybe like 3 to 4, maybe I say maybe like 350 miles an hour.
Oh geez.
But that's the fastest I've ever seen. I'm very sure they got faster cars than that. But I tell you right now, another thing what I like about that game too is when it comes down to the like the mud races, the mode they just added. That's
Yeah, that new DLC you talking about, right?
Yeah, the new DLC. Oh man, it's fun. I mean, it's more fun than any other rally DLC I've seen.
Okay, all right.
There's a lot of rally games out there that I do like, but that's one of the ones that I could say that Microsoft, they really did their homework on all that stuff, man. I mean, there's nothing else that I can say for Microsoft besides just doing good. And
Yeah, they are.
And right now, I'm hoping that they keep the dog in them right now, because after PlayStation showed their little showcase, and Microsoft came out that same damn day, and they just popped everything.
Yes, that's the Xbox I would like to see moving forward.
Right, be a dog like them. I mean,
Yeah.
they're gonna dog you out. Be a dog like them. And another thing too, y'all. I would like to see them just bring Starfield out. Don't get no review copies. Just
okay, I see what you mean.
Be that.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, okay.
Now,
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Tuck. I agree with you on that. I don't want IGN to sabotage. I'm telling you, if anybody from Microsoft is seeing this video, they are going to try to sabotage Starfield. Please do not give them an opportunity like you did with Redfall. Please do not do that. They will go after that. They don't care about Todd. They don't care about Bethesda. They will take down anything and everything that threatens Sony. And so just don't do it. Just release the game. Do what Nintendo does. If they don't like the way the media is acting, they just don't give them no review codes and they just drop their game. That's what they do. So Microsoft just do that. It's not going to harm you any worse than what IGN is going to do. Don't let them do a Halo and a Redfall to Starfield. Just don't.
Because you see now, since and this would make it so bad. I mean, when the Hi-Fi Rush came out, they just dropped the barrel on that. But all of a sudden, now the people got review copies of it. The media, IGN, and they kind of like down the game a little bit now. I mean, come on.
Yeah, now they don't even talk about Hi-Fi. They say, well, Microsoft haven't come out with anything. They ignore Hi-Fi Rush like the game didn't even drop. It was being spoken of as a game of the year contender by people. And yet they don't even talk about you. If you were somebody who didn't know the Xbox ecosystem, you wouldn't, and you seen Hi-Fi Rush, you would probably think it was a Steam game or something. You wouldn't know what it is because they never talk about it.
Well, but them not talking about it doesn't deny the fact that according to Xbox and Greenberg and everybody in the know, it's been a majorly successful game.
Yep.
And that's what's funny. They could ignore it all they want. The numbers show the game was a success. Hell, the game released one day after a hype game Forspoken that Sony paid millions upon millions to market.
Yep.
and it destroyed the game. Outsold it on PC, outsold it in general.
Yeah.
Had millions of players due to Xbox and Game Pass. I bought it.
A lot of Nintendo dudes bought it too. I saw a
Yeah.
lot of them buying it. So they must have either had Game Pass or they had a Series S or something. I'm like,
Yeah,
how are they
and-
playing it? You know?
And everybody was port begging for the game. Oh, this game is perfect for the Switch. This
Mhm.
game needs to be on PlayStation.
Yep.
Right? For a game that doesn't exist, that's a lot of credence.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it is.
So they could deny it all they want. I got the proof. I could show you the proof that they all were begging for the game to be on PlayStation and Nintendo.
I know the Nintendo guys were. They were saying this is a perfect Switch game. Although I'm like, why would you want it on the Switch when it runs better on the S? A Switch is not an S. So, a Series S is a much better machine, in my opinion. So, just have your S and run it there.
Nintendo play games on like 540p at 12 frames per second. They don't have standards.
Yeah. I mean, what was this last Tears of the Kingdom game running at? I don't even know.
20 frames per second, and it got praised for it.
Oh my gosh.
Big
Microsoft would have
time.
got killed for that.
Gave that game all kind of hundreds. That's a, oh my lord.
Yeah, I knew they were going to do that because they're setting, because look, I don't think they're going to realistically try to give Game of the Year to Spider-Man. I just don't think they are. And with this last showcase thing debacle, I think that is really done it in. I think they're crowning Tears of the Kingdom as Game of the Year. That's what they're doing. They're setting it up. It's going to have hundreds across the board. It's going to shine to the best of its ability. And for people who don't know, like the details you just said, Unlimited, they're going to believe it. They're going to believe it's the best running game ever. They're going to think it's the best game ever. It's so different from the first, and it's not. It's the same. You're getting the same thing as the first. Not necessarily a bad thing, okay? Not necessarily a bad thing, but not Game of the Year. You should award games that have done something brand new. That, okay? Not a game that is doing the same thing it did before.
Well, the game that I'm gonna give Game of the Year is game that that Unlimited is playing right now, and that's
What's
the
that?
Harry Potter game.
Oh, Harry
Hogwarts
Potter.
Legacy.
Yeah, I heard that was a good game.
To me, that by far, hands down, the Game of the Year. I mean,
Okay.
as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. Yeah, and you know what? I can buy that game being Game of the Year over the Tears of the Kingdom, because based on what I saw, like screenshots side by side, it's the same game. It's just more of the same, which is, again, nothing wrong with it as a sequel doing that, because that's what it's supposed to do. Reinvent a little bit, but just kind of bring you more of the same. But it should not be Game of the Year contender. What games I think so far on my list is Hi-Fi Rush. That was such a good game. I can't even find a flaw with that game. Like I can't even think of anything. The voice acting, the music, the controls, everything, the visuals, the original idea, everything was good on Hi-Fi Rush. So I can't think of anything else that I could have did differently with that game. It's such a good game. So far, that one is it for me. Tuck?
There's one thing I want you to bring up, Ultimate. This thing with the CMA, they what you call interest of the guy with that made the decision of the CMA.
Oh, that, yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
That he worked for Sony, like in the, he worked as a lawyer for Sony.
Right.
Yes.
The interest, which called
conflict of interest. Yes. Yep. Yeah, it's definitely a conflict of interest, because we don't know how close he was with Sony. He probably was really close if he spent years with them. So to be over a situation where Sony's crying and whining about it every day, and they don't want this to happen, and all of a sudden you get to decide whether or not it goes through, and you have friends over there. Yeah, it's a conflict of interest.
Right.
Why should I have to assume that you're going to be neutral? I shouldn't have to assume that. The fact is, it simply exists, that conflict of interest, so he should have been removed.
And then what make them look so bad there that everybody wanted it. They wanted this deal to go through.
They do. Yeah. Again, the CMA's decision is only for Sony.
Right. And that's one thing I always have said, that it wasn't even about the cloud gaming. It wasn't even about cloud gaming. This is all about trying to protect Sony.
I think
Because
it's
Sony,
okay. It's okay for the regulators to look at cloud gaming and say, okay, you know, Google collapsed and right, Stadia's gone, and so therefore Microsoft's the last big one, and they got so much money and they got so much. They're so good in tech and all that, so nobody's gonna really be able to compete against them. So I can understand, like, say the EU's interest in making sure to get on that early. Maybe some of them wish they got on gaming early, so it wouldn't be the mess it is today. With Sony having so much of the market share in their countries and stuff. But I think it's fair for the regulators to look into cloud and say, okay, we want to make sure we're in early on this to make sure it stays healthy. That's fine. That's their job. But the console market, there was never no question there. Because
right.
Microsoft just doesn't have no market to even threaten Sony with over there. Either whether the EU or the UK. But I think that this is ultimately to slow Microsoft down so that Sony can catch up. That's what I really think this is all about.
I agree. I will agree.
Yeah,
I strongly agree with you on that.
Yeah, because we all know they can't stop them, and I think they know they can't stop them, right? So they're doing all of this to slow them down. So like if they, I guess they assume that Microsoft is not going to buy other studios. They won't continue to develop in cloud. They'll be too busy fighting them in court just to get this deal through. And I think it's my opinion that once Microsoft closes, whether they close over somebody or not, they're going to just push on forward from there. At that point, they've closed and everything is just up to litigation. They can't just stop their business. So I think they're correct in slowing them down to the point that until they get the deal closed. But once it's closed, I think Microsoft's back in business. They can walk and chew gum at the same time, if that's what I'm trying to say. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, you just think about it. Microsoft was already putting in play these deals already for these streaming services.
Yes,
they're already putting deals in play already. So
they're not. Nobody's going to stop it. The CMA, one country is not going to stop Microsoft from doing this when they got approved from so many other countries. It's dumb to do that. It would be dumb. They're not going to do that.
I mean, you got Japan, you got China, you got all these other countries behind them now.
All of them, and you know what? China alone, with the gamers they can get out of there, is with Trump. The UK 10 times over. There's no way the UK is going to be worth that. Not that it's not a country worth fighting for. The gamers over there are. Don't confuse that. The gamers are worth it. I've always felt bad for the gamers over there because they were like hostages to PlayStation, especially our Xbox brethren over there. But they cannot hold up all their business, all their worldwide business for one country. I wouldn't even want to do that for America. Don't do that. Just maybe find a solution at a later date or something. But don't do that. Don't hold up your whole country for the whole business for one country.
Right. I mean, and I just don't. I mean, the CMA, is it just the CMA government, or is the CMA is just a little organization that make decisions that help to make decisions for the government? That's what I would understand.
They're a separate body from the actual parliament and stuff. The actual government does not have any say so in what the CMA says. However, they can disband them. They can they can do that. Like they can't like force the CMA to make a decision, but they can. They are still their bosses at the end of the day, and they can disband them. And I think that they run the risk of that, or even being reformed. That's another possibility. Hi, 2 Men. He said, "What's up, guys?"
Hey, 2 Man, what's up, man? How you doing, man? But I'll tell you right now, man. I mean, it's just something. It's just something else with what's going on with all these people. Now they're trying to take for Sony and all this stuff, and I don't understand it. I mean, Microsoft is still gonna play a backseat role to them but that's the reason why I'm glad to see Microsoft is finally being dog.
Mm-hmm.
I think they tired of. I think they. I mean, y'all. I've never seen Phil Spencer so doggone frustrated last month. I
I
never
hope
seen.
I,
I mean,
I hope he never does an interview like that again, quite like
no,
that.
no.
I still stand by this. I like Phil a lot, but that was very difficult as a fan of the Xbox brand and the games and knowing what they're trying to do to see him doing the things he did. I still am upset about that. I still don't like that. And when at times like that, yes, we understand Redfall failed, but you know what? All publishers have failures. All of them do. They don't get out there and like, I'm sorry, I did this. I did that. We didn't. They don't have to do that. You don't see that with Square Enix. You don't see that with Sony. You don't see that with Nintendo. And I just don't think Phil needs to do that. That they ran with that, and it was just it damaged, I think, the image of Phil. And I just don't think it's worth him doing that. He doesn't stand to gain anything. He can just briefly talk about a little bit of stuff, but he doesn't have to do all of that. I'm sorry, I'm bad. Yeah, maybe I don't need my job or whatever he was saying. I can't remember what he was saying, but it was some things that I was just like, why is he saying this over one game, a game that was not even planned to be a part of the Xbox lineup until they acquired Bethesda? It wasn't something that he ever planned around to begin with. So I'm like, why is everybody overreacting to one game? One game is not going to end Xbox. That's just silly.
Yeah, I mean, it's like these people acting like, well, Xbox got a chance for redemption with
Yeah, like redemption for what?
start having like, wait a second, like they don't have other good games on Xbox. Hell, the Game Pass. The Game Pass is the best one out there. I mean, hell, they give you games every hell. I mean, hell, I think they dropped like close to 7 games on us this month,
Yeah, it's been a lot, man. I can't
and
keep up.
maybe more than that. I don't know.
Yeah,
Ultimate, did they give us more than that?
I have to check on what it is because it seems like it's every 2 weeks they dump in more games, don't they?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just
No,
I can't keep up with it. I know you just told me about that Planet Lana game. I didn't even know that dropped.
shoot,
I
that
haven't
plan,
been paying attention to the new games lately. I've been trying to finish up some of the old ones.
man, that game dropped. What other game that granted? The Generation Zero.
Oh, okay, that fell. Okay, that one
That
dropped
shit gonna
too.
drop, and fellas, and that is a good game. And what makes it make it got a single player and it got a multiplayer.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, yeah. That's right up Xbox alley there.
And dude, those robots in that game ain't no joke. They will come at you.
Okay.
They will come at you like a dog. They will come at you, and they will shoot you up. So you better be ready. I'm enjoying that game. What other game I'm enjoying? Well, I'm enjoying man, I'm enjoying that game. I'm finally getting back into the Plague's Tale Requiem. I'm finally getting back into
Oh
that game.
man,
I gotta finish that game.
that's a wonderful game. I enjoy every minute of that game.
And now since they brought the 60 frames per second mode on it, it's
Yeah, yeah. I might
it's
end
good.
up going back to it just to experience it like that. I
It's good.
love that game. Yeah, it was a good game. Beautiful too. Oh my god, on the Series X, it's like that thing was made for the Series X. It was so darn beautiful.
And is there nothing? Have you played the Evil West yet?
I haven't played Evil West. I think I had originally downloaded it to play and probably forgot about it. Some games I end up forgetting about. I
Evil
was going to
West,
play Evil West though. Is it good?
Evil West is a good game.
Okay, it's good. Okay.
And there's another game that I gotta give Ultimate that I mean gotta give him credit for it. He got me on it right now. The Dishonor games.
Oh, the Dishonored. Yeah, I got to too. I had a friend. I told you the one that I'm playing with, Redfall. One of him, he's huge into Bethesda and Arcane. He's been begging me to play Dishonored for like I don't know how long, and I was going to, but once I got Game Pass, I was just like, it was just games that kind of enticed me away from like but that game is not going anywhere, so I'm not in a rush.
Oh,
Yeah, so but I'm gonna definitely go back to that. I hear a lot of praise about Dishonored, so yeah.
I mean those are. I mean those just good games right there, y'all.
Yeah, yeah.
So. Was there anything else that we can add to the conversation?
Let me see. Well, we everybody knows how bad the PlayStation Showcase was, and
Yeah,
well,
we already know that.
I guess now it's just about moving forward with what Xbox is going to show, and also to expect unrealistic expectations of Xbox. You already got people coming out of the woodwork making up these like
Yeah,
incredible games that got to show up on there. I'm like, get out of here. They learn anything from what happened with Sony. Don't do that. Don't try to make it seem like Microsoft got to put the entire lineup on the
Yeah,
showcase and stuff.
right. That's true.
that's just not realistic at all.
No.
That's
And
true.
some of them are saying, well, if they just show us two new games, that's if I'm assuming new is something they have not announced. Okay, that's my definition of new. So Phil indicated that he's going to at least show, because Paris was specific about this question, and this is the one thing he did right, that they're going to show the games that they're going to go back over the games that they introduced us to in 2018, 2019, whatever the games with not maybe not Double Fine, but what was that? I don't know about if Fable gonna be there or not like that, but that he will follow up on some of those games, those first announced games. I think you might get one or two new announcements, maybe. Okay, so that means something they haven't told us about. So I can expect, for instance, for the games that's been announced, maybe Contraband, maybe Indiana Jones, something like that. What else? Game that they're working on that's close, relatively Avowed. I can see that, maybe Perfect Dark. These kind of games. I don't know about State of Decay. I don't know where they at in development yet, because they were probably the one studio that was getting the most massive change out of anybody. Like, they got that animation studio. They had to expand. They had to do a lot. So people just assumed they were just working on the game. No, they were building too. So I don't know if they're there yet. I know they're working on the game probably by now, but I think that was them, or was it Compulsion? I don't know whoever had that animation studio. It might have been Compulsion. It was. I know one of the studios had like a lot of massive changes to it. It might have been Compulsion, because they're smaller. I think they're smaller than the team for State of Decay. So yeah, but that studio, the one that one that they got the most upheaval. That one, don't expect that one necessarily to show up, because they were doing so much to build out their their studios, their equipment, their expand the people, hiring, all this stuff, that I don't know if they even had enough time to do enough to show us right now. And I think Microsoft is not going to show it. They're not going to have a repeat of the Craig incident with Halo. So they're going to show something that they are confident in showing, I think, for the most part. Okay, for the most part.
That's true. That's very true. I do think that. I mean, I don't think people should be so hyped up. They should just be even killed like everything else.
Right.
The way that PlayStation went down, that was just, that was just
It went down in flames.
it went down in flames. That's the reason why I gave it flat out 0.
Well, you do know some of those games are coming to Xbox though, right?
A lot of games come what? 9? I mean, what?
It was quite a few.
9 of the 10 that's coming to Xbox?
No. It was more than that. It was more like 15 of those games.
It was a lot of games, except the VR stuff. That, of course, that's not coming over, and Spider-Man. But almost everything else, yeah. I mean, or they're not exclusive, or they've been announced as not exclusive. So,
man, they pull VR. They pull VR. They VR. There's nothing else I can say. I mean, it's just not selling good worth the damn.
Yeah,
they can just kiss that bad boy goodbye. They just might as well just kiss that boy, because I don't give a care what they do. It's not even going to do as much as. Sega Man might be Sega Man here, y'all.
Oh no,
nah. No, but I'm telling y'all, man. I mean, this, what they didn't even demonstrate on their little 8-inch handheld. They didn't even just demonstrate
That's
that.
true. They didn't even
I'm
show
like,
you how that worked. Yeah.
I'm like, you're gonna bring something up in a show, but you ain't gonna show it how it really works.
That's a good point, Tuck.
We know how it's gonna really work. You ain't gonna be able to go nowhere. You're gonna have to be right at home, working on your station. I'm hoping that you can hook it up on somebody else's station if you go over somebody's house.
Why
But
bother though? Why bother when you have
yeah,
the other handhelds that well, not the Steam Deck, but what's that other AROG or something like that? The other handheld that can do it. You can run Game Pass, you can run PS Plus, you can, why bother? You know,
yeah.
you know.
Well, they desperate over there, Sony, man. They gotta do something to try to keep the doors open. I mean, people
I
already
think that's a losing thing. There's no way they're gonna lose money, even more money on that. And then think about they've complained about developers having to develop games for the Series S because that's a separate, according to them, a separate SKU. Even though it's not really. It runs the same games that X can run, right? Well, what do you think is gonna happen when they got to develop for that handheld thing? Because they're gonna have to have a separate development for that. Nobody's complaining about that all of a sudden.
And then now you hear the fans already come out that the PS fans already came out. I think I was reading an article the other day. They said that they talking about the new PS5 that's about to come out. People's frustrated. People saying like, why even bring it out?
That's true, because what game have they really gotten so far that wasn't cross-gen that really utilized the PS5? Now, if they tell me some Ratchet and Clank, get out of here, because like I said, Psychonauts 2 was look just as good, if not better, or just on par with that. So I don't. That's not the game that pushed it. What game actually pushed the PS5? And if it is one, you only have one or two. That you mean all this time that's what you pay all that money for? And now the PS5, this older version, is more money. They raised the price on it. So what do you think they're going to charge for a Pro?
Well, yeah, you got that one doggone thing right there. I mean, that don't make no doggone sense.
Yeah, because
and nothing that don't make no sense either. It's just the fact that if you think about it, all they got is one game coming out this year, and what game is that? It don't even got a co-op.
Exactly.
They don't even have co-op, man. That's Spider-Man.
And they have no roadmap. Who's going to invest in a Pro? No roadmap. You don't know when Wolverine's going to drop. You don't even know what games are coming out. This showcase just shocked people as to what they are working on. I don't know who's going to invest in that.
Man, I don't know what they're going to do. I'm going to tell you that right now. I mean, man, 434. I mean, whatever they doggone station they studio is. Man, I put like this, man. I think it's looking bad for PlayStation. I think it really is. I mean, this last show didn't indicate nothing. It didn't do nothing for them.
No.
It's making them look more worse than ever. So if they do come out with a new system, I mean, yeah, you might get the gurus that might buy it, or you will get the normal fans. And that's
we are in an inflationary period right now where things are costing more. People are not making as much money because your dollars are stretching less. So who is going to pay more than what the old PlayStation 5 costs right now? Because that thing is going to have to cost more. And who's going to do that with no knowledge of what games are coming out? Like, yeah, we know the games that they was talking about, but nobody knows when it's going to come out. So why would you see how slow people were to adopt the PS5? They were still holding on to their PS4. So how long do you think that's going to happen if they have a Pro? How many are they going to realistically sell? It just, what is Sony doing? It just the VR, the handheld, the Pro. If that's true, I don't think it's a Pro though. I think they're working on new, like Unlimited said, the next gen stuff. I think it can't be because they don't have nothing on the 5. They don't have nothing on there to really justify the cost, in my opinion.
You tell you the truth, they're not gonna have anything to adjust on the new generation either. The way it's looking, you got to have money. You got to have money to generate something.
Right.
And right now, I don't see PlayStation really doing nothing. Their Game Pass is a shell of itself. It ain't nearly doing things that Xbox is doing at all. Microsoft and Xbox is doing at all. It's just still a shell of itself as far as I'm concerned. I mean, you just think about it. With this bad showing that they had, everybody's saying, "Oh, they just holding back."
Right.
Okay, you're holding back.
Yeah.
What? You haven't did a show in 2 years, so you gonna wait until they get to that gate that Jeff Keighley summer show to show everything? It's gonna be much of the same. It's gonna be blah 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 blah. And if something's gonna happen next year. But that's where it's going to come down to. But Microsoft right now, they really got everything going on for themselves as far as gaming is concerned, as far as I'm concerned.
I agree.
We'll see, but you know, I'm because because to tell you the truth, I wanted to see what was the hoopla about what we're going to do.
Yeah, right. All that talk. And I tell you, I can tell if somebody asks me, well, why are you invested? Hi, Louis Frag. And that's good. You can do the replay. That's fine. Thank you. Thank you for coming by. But yeah, what this is why Xbox has me here. I know their roadmap, number one. Number two, Game Pass. No, number three, they're still acquiring studios. So I have no idea what Microsoft is going to look like in 2-3 years from now. We don't even know what games they're going to have under their belt. They're still buying. Okay, we can't necessarily say that about Sony. They're actually laying off people and getting rid of studios and junk. So this is what I know about Microsoft. They're still developing new tech and stuff, and they're still improving their console. They always working on that thing. That's another thing. They're always improving on it. You know, you're probably not going to see the ultimate form of the Series X until probably the end of the generation because they work on it constantly. You know, and so this is why I'm in this ecosystem. And also, I can save money, so therefore I can buy other games like the Diablo 4 that's coming out, you know, which might be very soon to be first party. So, but yeah, that's why I'm in the Xbox camp, because of all those things I can list out. But what can you say about Sony? Well, they're laying off studios. Quite opposite. You don't know their roadmap. They got all this peripherals and stuff, but you know why? I mean, what good is that to me? I don't care about VR. And if I go with a handheld, I can go with others. There's other competition out there. So there is nothing they're doing that says I have to be in there. And PS Plus is the sorriest version of Game Pass. I mean, it's not even Game Pass. So in my opinion, they just don't offer me anything on a personal level. They don't have any way to entice me over there. And I know Unlimited, you got to be like thankful you didn't pay for your PS5.
Yeah.
Jeez. Oh man, that purchase is looking worse and worse by the day.
I tell you what, fellas, there's nothing else I got to really say. Is there anything else you got to say about it Unlimited?
No, I think we covered everything, man.
Yep, we have.
Okay. Well, I'm going to cut this show off right now, but I tell you right now, I want everybody just tell where everybody can find you at Ultimate.
Yeah, that's right. It's your boy Unlimited Production, man. I'm always spitting facts and keeping it relaxed. And I do the unlimited truth when the truth is needed. And that's where you find me on my channel. And yesterday, me, Daya, and other Zinc, we kicked up. We had a great show. And today, we had a great show with our brother Tuck. So everybody enjoy the rest of your Memorial Day, and I'm out.
Okay, peace, man. Peace. How about you, Daya? Tell everybody where you from.
I'm usually found in the chats circling our group. E-Rock, well, when he gets his channel back, Sega Man 101, Tuck Master Unlimited. Yeah, and Xbox All In. Yeah, we can't forget him. Right. And I'm usually in the chats, but oftentimes too, I'm also a guest on the panel. And I hope you guys have a wonderful Memorial Day. And hopefully that some of the things we said today will, again, encourage you to be comfortable with your purchases and enjoying your Xbox.
Hey, and this is your boy DJ Tuck Master. Y'all can find me on the Xbox, always up on the Ultimate Truth. Hebot, when he get his show available.
Oh yeah, Hebot too. Yeah.
Sega Man was supposed to be here today, but we had some because he's supposed to do the show. But we had
Oh,
some kind of difficulties with him.
okay.
But eventually, I just kept on giving Facebook a try, and that's how I got on. So because they was having problems early this morning. But now y'all can find me on the best group of everybody in this podcast that I socialize with: E-Rock, Unlimited, Out of Zinc, Dea, Hebot, Sega Man, my boy 100. You know him and his crew. But that's about all I got to say. But this is my first podcast doing with the group that I actually hosted myself.
You did good, Tuck.
So I'm glad to see Unlimited come on and Dale come on, and everybody that's in the chat. I'm glad to see all of y'all came on too. It's all we're gonna do is get better, y'all. All we're gonna do is get better. You know, like I said, get ready for the showcase, but do not be overwhelmed. Please do not be overwhelmed. If it's a good show, the good show. If it's a great show, the great show. But if it's just a mediocre show, be truthful to yourself.
Right.
But don't be over there, you know, overdoing this like Sony people did. Because the people over there in Sony land, all I gotta say, they just deserve a flat ass out 0. So this is your boy Tuck Master 785, the original Pony Killer, and we're out for the day. Thanks, fellas.
Okay. Thank you for having me, Tuck.
No, thank you, young lady.
Okay, you take care. I'm gonna head out.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.